What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for Legion Remix. Now today I want to give you guys a video on my day 1 of gameplay, and give you some mistakes that I made during day 1 that you can avoid making yourself, to be even more efficient on your game time. That way you can catch up to where I am in way less playtime than I have spent to get here. Now, a quick shout out is that I am streaming my Legion Remix gameplay over on Kick every single day, and I'm going to be live exactly when you see this video. So if you haven't followed me on Kick yet, please consider doing so. The link will be down below in the pinned comment and in the video description. Once again, live streaming every single day, and for Legion Remix, right now we're doing long streams as well. Yesterday, for example, was a 17-hour stream of Legion Remix gameplay. So, Legion Remix came out yesterday, at least for Europe. For North America it's been 2 days now, and I got myself to level 80 in a little bit longer than I thought it was gonna take, but my aim was never to level up fast. I am focusing on the infinite knowledge part, so we have 12 infinite knowledge out of 36, and the thing is, I could have way more, and during today's stream and today's gameplay, I will get way more, probably closer to 20, but I could have had at least 15 by now if I played the game differently, and you can get way more knowledge even sooner as well. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of give some pointers to anybody starting out, or anybody who's still in the leveling portion of the Legion Remix. Now, so far, I have 603 item level, and I'm going to tell you, by the way, the gearing process at max level kinda sucks a little bit. You start out at 584, and like here, for example, 584. All the raid gear, all of the mythic dungeon gear, heroic dungeon, the epics you're getting, they will be 584 until you get to 580 plus, and then the gear will start becoming slightly higher item level than you are. So for example, if I combine these both right now, I have 603, they should be about 607. Yeah, so like this necklace, for example, turned out to be 607. And right now we are still 604, so combining one more item should also be 607. And when you get to the next stage of being able to get, well, there we go, 610 now. So as you can see, when you start getting better gear, it only increases marginally in item level, but it can go up to 740, I think. It will just be an absolute grind to get there, and I can see that when more people get to level 80 and start gearing, there might be a few forum threads about this and the whole thing being too grindy, and Blizzard might make a change. I'm just putting that out there, so maybe don't invest too much time into gearing as for now, but then again, we don't know. I just feel like in Mist of Pandaria, people complained, and Blizzard listened to the complainers pretty much instantly, by the way, and the Legion so far seems way more grindy, especially for the gearing aspect. I mean, sure, you don't have the infinite threads here, but you will spend a lot of time grinding to get your gear leveled up as well, like item level. Either way, let's talk about infinite knowledge, because that's really where I made a couple of mistakes, and you can be way more efficient than I was while I was leveling. So I'm currently on 12 infinite knowledge, and I could have way more. Now, when you're hunting for infinite knowledge while you're leveling, there's a couple of important things. You want to do the, if you go to questing, for example, you want to do the different lore runners. You can see here, lore runner of Stormheim gave me +1, High Mountain +1, also we had Asuna +1, and Valshara also +1. You also get 1 for doing the remixing time, so simply doing questing, you end up with +5 infinite knowledge. So, while questing, focus on those lore runner achievements. I will also say I am currently working on Suramar, because you can see here, lore runner of Suramar also gives you +1, and this is where I made my mistake. I am now level 80, and I'm investing my time into Suramar to get the questing complete before I do anything else. So late last night, I figured out that this takes too much time to get +1. So you can see here the campaign for Suramar. I was doing Suramar for about 2.5 hours yesterday, and we're only on 2 campaign plots. We have way more content to go through in Suramar before getting anywhere close to the +1. So instead of starting to do Suramar right away when you're level 80, or even while you're leveling as well, start doing dungeons and raids. For dungeons, you can see here, the Legion dungeons, Threats of the Isle, Neltharian's Lair, Halls of Valor, Maw of Souls, and Darkheart Thicket. Doing those on any difficulty also gives you +1. So my recommendation here, well, let me go down first and show you a couple more. If you go down here right now, we also have Power of the Ancients, the Archway, Eye of Ashara, and Court of Stars, also +1, and Might of the Legion, so Violet Hold, Vault of the Wardens, and Blackrock Hold, also +1. So my advice is to look at those 3 achievements, see which dungeons you haven't done, and first of all, if you're level 80, do your 1 heroic random for this cache. After that, you basically don't get any rewards for doing random, by the way, so at that point, queue specifically for the ones that you are missing for the achievements. Just find the ones you're missing and queue for those and get those achievements out of the way, because infinite knowledge is the name of the game here. You want to max this out, or at least get as high as you can, as early as you can. That is only advice for infinite knowledge, by the way, not anything else, but hey, yeah. And pretty much all of those dungeons, by the way, can be worked on while you're leveling, even during heroic. You can see here, pretty much all of them, or at least half of them, can be done at level 20. And then a couple more at level 25, 1 more at level 30, and then the final 2 are level 35. So if you're just level 35, you can simply do all the dungeons on, once again, heroic difficulty. Now the thing is, you will not be able to get all of these achievements, because like Cathedral will not be out for a while, Return to Karazhan will also not be out for a while, so those coming out later will simply give new people a catch-up mechanic to get more infinite power faster than we are getting it. That's kind of a built-in time-gated system, which I personally think sucks, by the way, because that just makes me way more incentivized to spend less time now and more time later, because, well, your time is way more valued if you start in the last phase of the remix instead of phase 1. So I kind of wish that all the content was available from the start, but there's even like additional catch-up mechanics coming also. So what we are doing right now in phase 1 could end up being pretty much a waste of time, and anybody starting later is going to have, well, the quote-unquote real remix experience. But I was gonna say, you also have, for example, down here, the Broken Isle Dungeoneer. This one you can do for the Bronze Cache, but the Legion Remix Dungeoneer, you will not be able to do this one, because you have to do Cathedral, Karazhan, and Seat of the Triumvirate. Seat will not be out, by the way, until the final phase, so that one is not being out for a while. That is +1 more infinite knowledge that we can't get right now, but can get later. And the same thing goes for this one as well on Heroic, so all dungeons on Heroic, including once again Karazhan, Cathedral, and the Seat of the Triumvirate. But the dungeon achievements you can start working on are once again the ones that I just talked about. So going all the way up here, we have Legion Dungeons, Threat of the Isle for +1 infinite knowledge. You also have all the way down here once again to the other dungeons. You have Power of the Ancients +1 infinite knowledge, and Might of the Legion for +1 infinite knowledge. So if you do the leveling campaigns excluding Suramar and these dungeons, you already have 8 infinite knowledge, by the way. And then you can also do a couple of raids. So going over to raids here, you get +1 for doing Emerald Nightmare on any difficulty. And I'm just gonna say, wait until max level and do it on Heroic, I would say. Possibly if you can queue up for LFR, just to do the last boss only. But actually you can't even do that, you have to do all of the stuff. So if you can find a group that just blasts through it, it might be worth it for the knowledge while you're leveling, but for the most part, if you wait until max level, you can hit 2 birds, 1 stone. You can do the Emerald Nightmare, and you can also do the Heroic Legion Remix Raider. Then you get +1 and +1, and then also doing Trial of Valor +1. So now, if you just do those raids, those dungeons, and the zones I told you, you are on 11 infinite knowledge, by the way. And then you can get even more from playing the remix itself, and for example doing the unlimited power, which is literally just grinding infinite power, by the way. So the more knowledge you have, the more power you get. But those dungeons that I just talked about, you can do while you're leveling, and even the raids you can do while you're leveling, but you can't do Heroic. Looking for raid and normal opens up at level 20, I think, or 25? 20 or 25. So you can do raids while you're leveling to get infinite knowledge while you're leveling, and the dungeons can be done on Heroic while you're leveling as well. Now, some real quick advice when it comes to gearing, because you will want to get some gear, because the more gear you have, the more powerful you are. Early in the game, the power comes from gearing. Later in the game, the power will come from grinding infinite power and getting this trait right here called Limits Unbound. But early in the game, pretty much all of your power comes from getting gear. Now, you will notice when you get to max level, you feel kind of capped at 584 epics, because all you're going to see is 584 epics all over the place. That being said, once again, you have to start getting your average item level up before that item level increases, at least as of right now. So you have to get to about 580 item level yourself, and then the gear starts scaling based on your item level, and the gear only scales from various sources, such as raids, Mythic Plus, and the dailies and weeklies. Regular quests do not scale, regular drops in the world do not scale, and like, those things don't scale. So you can see here, most of my greens are still 571, the blues are still 578, and many of my epics are also 584, like this one right here. So some items still don't scale. So when it comes to gearing, there's a couple of paths to take, by the way, because even though questing items don't scale, you can focus on getting these motes, and you get a bunch of these motes, by the way, if you're simply leveling. So questing, or not leveling, but questing, I mean. So questing is a valid way to gear up even at max level, doing something like the Suramar campaign and working on that at max level to get these motes, combining those modes, and getting gear that scales. Otherwise, you can also do Mythic Plus, Heroic Raids. The Heroic Raids have a daily cooldown, by the way, so raiding plus Mythic Plus really seems to be the way to go for gearing, but questing can also be incredibly good for getting these modes and combining those modes to get raid loot. Either way, hopefully that video gave you some instructions on what to do and allowed you to learn from my mistakes. My mistakes was really focusing too hard on Suramar to like finish questing, because I hate questing and I want to get that done as soon as possible just to get the infinite knowledge. And like my mistake was focusing too hard on Suramar and forgetting about dungeons. Do the dungeons because it's such easy infinite knowledge that you can get super early in the game itself. Either way, that's it for now. Follow me on Kick, and bye bye. Bye.